So you're going to leave the bat in there. This next one we're going to look up is BATT underscore CURR underscore pin. All right, this one we're going to want to make sure is an 11. Once it's set to that, we can go ahead and continue on to BATT in the search bar underscore AMP underscore PERVLT. All right, once you get here, this one we're going to have to change to 55.9. So go ahead, change that value. Okay, once you got that changed, go ahead and write the parameter, get that all those values in there saved for you. See, everything's good. Okay, now the next thing we're going to want to look into is go ahead into the search bar again and keep that BATT. This time, we're going to search capacity, CAPACITY. All right, once you get here, these values that we're going to do vary depending on the battery that you plan on using for your quadcopter. In this example, I'm going to be basing it off a 3S 5000 milliamp battery. If you're using anything else, you're going to have to kind of do the calculations first before you put these batteries in. So this first one is just based on that milliamp hours. So we're just going to change that value to 5,000. This will just help the drone to figure out its mathematics and its equations properly to know the capacity of our battery and its voltage. So if you're using another battery, just keep that in mind that you will have to do, based on the cells and everything, some changes to it. So we're going to continue on. So once you change that battery capacity, go ahead and erase that. You can erase all the way to beginnings. This one's going to be slightly different. This is going to be MOT underscore BAT, BAT underscore volt underscore max. We are going to end up using that other one we just got rid of, but we want max first. And as I mentioned, if you're using a 3S 5000 milliamp battery, this is going to be a 12.6 value that you want right there. Then you can just erase those last three, even, and switch it to min. So MOT underscore BAT underscore VOLT underscore min now. And you're going to change that value to 9.9. Once you've gotten those three changed, there is one last thing you'll want to look up. So go ahead to your search bar, erase everything, do BATT underscore monitor. MONITOR. This will pull up the last thing you're going to change in this. Go to value and make sure that's set to 4. Here to the full parameter list, or you can even go to the full parameter tree on this one. Remember, under this configuration tab still. Give it a second to load. And we're just going to kind of review a lot of these, go through a lot more of these battery ones that we've altered. So go ahead and search BAT, BATT on the right hand side. Come over to this third value. Oh, sorry, just getting I meant the battery critical. The BATT underscore CRTMH. This one above is the one we just changed. Those are the values we just set. Come over here and check. So this first one at CRTMH should be 0. Come down. And make sure all of these. Okay. Show the same that mine do. Crit volt. Then we're going to jump down the FSCRT, that ACT should be 1. And then low should be 1. And then the volt source right here should be 0. Low MAH. Okay. And then timer we don't need to worry about. Alright, so if they look similar to this, corner, as we've done in the past, wait for it to load. Then we're going to go to the mandatory hardware tab again. And here, we're going to pretty much mess with just about all of these tabs, except for the bottom two. We're going to start off with frame type, come here, and we're going to select the one that's labeled as X frame. Since ours is a quadcopter, this is the design that we're going to be using. So we want to just let it know that it's that. So if I click there, it'll start off as undefined, so you'll also need to select it up top as well. And then come down, and it should allow you to click on the X frame. And input these variables, assuming you are using the same battery that I mentioned before. It'll have a 3-cell count, fully charged and fully discharged will be 4.7.3, and our air screw size in inches is going to be 10. So once you get all of these set up, go ahead and calculate the parameters and FC. Okay, now we're good here. All right, for this third acceleration calibration, go ahead and click on this top one. This is going to ask you to do a few different things. Place it level, which we have done. And we tell it we have finished with that. Next it'll say left. Remember, this is the front. So you will then tilt it at a 90-degree angle in that direction. Once we have done that, I'm going to set this down. We will then click done. It will then proceed to tell you to place it on the right-hand side. Go ahead and put it at a 90-degree again. And then push done. Followed by nose down. Tip it to the front at a 90-degree angle, like so. And hit. Next will be nose up. Go ahead and continue to do the same. Making sure that it's at a 90-degree angle. And hit done. And then when it says to place it on its back, you will place it completely upside down, as level as you can, and hit done. And the compass, as this one we've already disabled, we don't have to do anything here. On the radio calibration, here you're going to be I'm going to be using a remote. If you're using a FlySky remote as well, make sure that you have enabled all 10 channels, as you're going to be using them for your kill motor switch, channel number 7 at least, and that it is properly paired to your receiver so that this will work. Alright, so once you've done that, on this part, you'll want to calibrate the radio just to make sure that everything's working properly and that it's all going to function as you plan and get the values that you're looking for. So go ahead and fire up your remote. Once your remote is on, and if it is properly getting signal to that receiver, which the receiver should have a solid red light on it, and just having it plugged in will power that receiver as well. But anyways, it'll output green here on all of the different channels and systems. As you can see, as I start to move the different control sticks on my controller here, they move within the program. So go ahead, if you're at this point and your controller is working, you can hit calibrate radio. We'll end up doing this again here in a second. It says make sure that there's no power to your props. Okay. Continue, make sure there's no power. And now it's going to ask us to move all of the sticks to their extremes. So I'm going to throttle all the way up, throttle all the way down, roll all the way in both directions, pitch in both directions, and yaw in both directions. I have my kill switch set up, so now I can click and mark both of those and make sure that those are marked as well. As I don't have any other parameters set to my other switches, even though I flip them, nothing happens. All right, so everything's been set to its maximum and its minimum. The controller is now been calibrated. So we just click here when done, and okay. And there it goes. It shows us all of those values that it was able to calculate. And we say okay. And once you add your channel 7, you'll need to go back and redo this, as hopefully you've already changed these to show the same functions as I'm showing. Otherwise, what this is pretty much verifying for us is that we want to make sure that not only is the quadcopter, the flight controller, spinning the right motors that we want it to and that it thinks it is, but also that our motors are spinning in the right direction. So to double check that before we continue on, come to optional hardware. You'll need to be plugged into a battery or an XT60 wall adapter to check on this. You can come down here to optional hardware, and there's actually a motor option. So once you're here, you want your throttle to be pretty low. I wouldn't go higher than 5%. It should be plenty. You can just go through and just test each motor, and it'll spin it up for a few seconds. And just give you that general idea of where it's supposed to be. All right. So now that we've got that tested, everything's figured out, they're all spinning the right way. The silver ones should be, just a reminder, spinning counterclockwise, and the black ones clockwise.